I'm your host, John Myers, live from Stillwater, Oklahoma. We have got a great show tonight. It's John Myers. Hey, everybody. Gotta have my notes. It's John Myers from the Kicker UnMasked Studios. Gotta have my notes. Alternator. Hey, everybody. We have fun. Hey, everybody. Hit like and subscribe. Right here, right now. It's John Myers. We like to give stuff away. Alternator. Post some more pictures. We got to thank Steve and Becky live from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Don't forget Texas Roadhouse right here, right now. Hey, everybody. Don't forget right here, right now. We have got a great show tonight. Hey, everybody. Had a great dinner tonight. It's John Myers. Right here, right now. Had a great dinner tonight. So, hey, everybody. So, housekeeping. Had a great dinner tonight. So, alternator. Housekeeping. Housekeeping. So, Tuesday night. Housekeeping. From the Kicker UnMasked Studios. Housekeeping. Right here, right now. Hey, everybody. So, it's John Myers. Hey, everybody. It's John Myers from the Kicker UnMasked Studios. Hey, everybody. From the Kicker UnMasked Studios. It's John Myers. Right here, right now. We have got a great show tonight. Hey, everybody. We have got a great show tonight. It's John Myers. Hey, everybody.
Right here.
It's been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
Hey guys, Cruz Pedregon here, coming to you from our race shop in Brownsburg, Indiana. I want to say thank you for checking out the Kicker UnMasked show. From speakers to their headphones, I've always been a huge fan of Kicker Audio because they like to live loud, just like our Nitro Funny Car. I'm very proud to be part of the family.
Oh, howdy. Delmar Hogwallop here, coming to you from outside Mildred's Bait Shop and Lingerie. Want to appreciate you all coming, giving a look-see in on the Kicker UnMasked show. Those folks at Kicker, salt of the earth, make some of the finest gear ever tickle your ear. So, mighty fine of you to come take some time off and check them out. And remember, whether you're looking for night crawlers or nighties, Mildred's is your place. So once again, hey, son, put down that armadillo and get some pants on. Oh, my Lord, kids.
Music is my passion, my livelihood, and it's in my DNA. My pals at Kicker Marine Audio gave me a chance to take the music, what I love and listen to, at home, on stage, and in the car, onto the water. Hi, this is Jason Bonham, and I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Kicker Audio for inspiring the songs and the stories behind the music that inspires America. Go overboard!
The Kicker Quad Box is the most insane, ground-pounding, bass head-loving, preloaded subwoofer enclosure we have ever offered. It consists of 4 L7R 12-inch subwoofers. It has a total power handling of 2,400 watts RMS, and it's tuned at an amazing 31 hertz. Here to tell us more about it is Kicker's very own Jeremy Brown.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Brown. I've been with Kicker for 22 years. I work in the research and development department. In the early 2000s, I would run the Gates Bronco at shows like Daytona. We would do hair tricks, 48 10-inch subwoofers with 48 1,000 watt amplifiers. Really big build back in that day. We were able to develop some high output enclosures that were up above the 170 dB mark. We set a few world records with some of those enclosure designs and our woofers. We learned a lot about high output enclosure designs during that time, and we've been able to bring that to our product lines today. Within the last year, we introduced a new subwoofer enclosure with 4 L7R 12s that we call the Quad Box. Our Quad Box is built out of 3/4 inch birch. It's got a 1.5 inch baffle and a 1.5 inch bottom. We also use window frame bracing along with corner bracing to make the enclosure more rigid. We use a flared port to reduce port noise and increase port surface area. This type of vent design helps maximize output. We use the L7R 12-inch subwoofers because this allows you to use one KXA 2400.1 amplifier, and you still get big bass with fewer upgrades to your charging system. The Kicker Quad Box is the bass head starter kit, and if you're worried, it plays way below 40 hertz.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio. Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as Kicker Performance Audio. Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original Kicker and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. Kicker L7QB8. With roots dating back to Kicker's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless quarter-inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original Kicker, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. Kicker's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace combine as a single ultra-rigid unit. The result is increased clarity, higher volume, and added reliability. The square cone features over 20% more surface area than round subwoofers. It's attached to a Santoprene surround, then stitched to the cone for long life and durability. This surround features Kicker's patented ribbed corners, which fully dictates cone motion and extends surround life. At the base of the unit, a pair of custom-formed flanges integrate seamlessly with an extremely low-profile mounting system, consisting simply of a mounting plate and bar. Once installed, the overall height of the enclosure is only 9.5 inches. This profile is small enough to work perfectly in countless trucks, sedans, and SUVs. Once again, Kicker sets a new standard with the groundbreaking design and unparalleled performance of the all-new L7 QB8.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, 7:30. I'm your host, John Myers, for Unmasked Weekly, right here on the Kicker YouTube and Facebook channel, right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I've got my special guest, Mr. Carlos Jiminez, up here with me tonight.
Buenas tardes, John. ¿Cómo estás?
I have no idea what he just said. I can only mean that it probably says hello. Anyway, got some rain this week, didn't we?
Yeah, a lot of rain, man.
5 inches of rain in the last 2 days. I don't even think it's done yet. I mean,
No. Out by my house, man, everything's pretty flooded.
That's been absolutely crazy. So not only do we have Carlos on the show tonight, we've got Tim behind the camera, just, as always, does a great job. We've got Ernie back there. Let's see the back room shot. And, of course, we see Bill down there on the right. And, of course, JW and Bill. Wave, there you go. In case you guys didn't know who Bill was, that is Bill. Old Man Bill, as we like to call him, or Bill Frog. He's only Old Man Bill now because he just got a little bit older, but that's a whole nother story.
Wiser, not older, wiser.
Well, yeah, don't we all get older and wiser? Good grief. Dinner was awesome tonight. Thank you, Stephen Becky, for letting us do this and have dinner.
Very good.
I tell you what, that 3 on the spice tonight, I'm on fire. I don't think I'm done sweating yet.
Well, that's why you don't send me to pick up the food. They think it's for me. And I don't even like spicy, man.
Well, I sure do, and man, that really got a hold of me. I think JW got a little bit of hook off that one too. He was
Still
like,
looking
wow.
a little red there, John.
That's just me, and I'm just naturally red, especially I get sunburned in the rain light. So anyway, having a great show tonight. Had a lot of fun. We had a great show last week as well. I don't think we've ever not had a great show. So
It's fun all the time, man. Even when I'm not here, it's funner when I'm not here, huh?
So just before I forget to say this, I better mention it. Andy, I hope you're doing well. I know you weren't feeling well last week, so hopefully things went better for you for the week, and hopefully you'll be on again tonight so we can listen to you and have some more fun with that. But that being said, if you guys have just started to tune in, we have a great show every Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time, here on the Kicker YouTube and Facebook channel. We're talking all things car audio. We've got a great chat log that we put up there. You guys can ask questions and talk amongst yourselves. And if you're watching, make sure you hit like and subscribe so we can keep doing this. The more times you hit that, the more fun we have, the more cool things we get to do. You know what else we do cool? It's kind of a lot of fun. We give away stuff.
Well,
we'd like to give away
stuff. Can I get anything for free?
Well, you got to be on here. I mean, that was kind of...
I get to keep my job.
Yeah, there you go. That grand prize,
Right.
steak knife. Second prize, you get to keep your job, barely. So, too much fun. So, yes, we always like to give away cool things, and every week we give away something, and sometimes we give away bigger stuff than other weeks. We got a couple cool things going on, so if we can get Ernie to go ahead and pull up the laptop. If you guys want to see what we're giving away and how to register to win the giveaways, go to Kicker UM Weekly. Kicker.com/UM Weekly. You're going to see this nice little page here. It says we got 55 minutes left to register to win the prizes tonight. And as always, the prizes are, do you know what the prizes are, Carlos?
Well, I'm looking at them right now.
Can you read those? What's the third one? What are we
Third
giving away?
place, EB400 wireless earbuds plus a Kicker koozie. I mean, the earbuds are nothing without the koozie, right?
And that gray shirt back there.
And the gray shirt.
Which they didn't see me point because I'm not a, but that's okay. So, second prize, we're going to give away the Tabor 2s. And you know, I think actually my new puppy actually won third prize last week because she chewed up my EB400.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, they came out in several different pieces, several different times of the day, but that's a whole different subject. But yeah, the second prize winner is going to get the Tabor 2s. They're going to get the koozie, they're going to get gray shirt. And as always, grand prize winner is going to get the Cush NCs.
Those are awesome, man.
Oh,
I love traveling with those.
Yep, those things are great, especially for us that do travel a lot. Plus, you're going to get the koozie. Plus, you're also going to get the T-shirt as well. Something else that's kind of cool, we're going to have a Slamology giveaway. So while we got the screen pulled up, I'm going to switch. So if you go to kicker.com/contest, here's where you register to win the Slamology contest. And Carlos, tell them what they can win on this one. This is a really cool prize.
You're able to win a Kicker Unmasked hat.
Not only are you able, you will win.
So you will win an Unmasked hat, an Unmasked shirt, a Slamology backpack, Slamology trucker hat. I mean, that does it right there.
I still wonder if they have mud flaps or like dual stacks coming out the top. What kind of trucker is that?
Or the LEDs, right?
Yeah, I got to have that. The
straw hat.
chrome ladies on the mud flaps.
Yeah, that's right.
Those. We love you, truckers. They're fun.
Straw hat.
Yep.
That makes it right there. Also, some stickers.
Are those bendy straws that that you can? No, different straw. Not gonna go. See what happens? I get somebody else on the show and I get stupid.
And spectator passes with free parking.
That's going to be a heck of a contest. We're going to go a little bit deeper in what Slamology really is. I did some research. Like I told you guys, I forgot to last week. Got some pictures we're going to show you, kind of what you might expect if you go. So this really is going to be a awesome, contest. And if someone wins this, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So make sure you do that. And Jeremy wanted me to point out, though, if you guys are planning on registering to go to Slamology, you have till this Friday to pre-register for the show. So the cutoff is Friday. So that gives you a couple more days if you plan on taking your vehicle to the event. And as always, if you're just planning on showing up, just show up and have a good time. And hopefully we'll give someone, a real cool trip. And we're going to announce that grand prize winner on the show. But you have till June 5th at midnight to register.
3 winners? That's pretty cool.
3 winners?
Yeah, 3 winners, it says.
Cool. I didn't even see that. See, they tell me all kinds of things. Anyway, so make sure you guys register, win that, because it is going to be a whole lot of fun. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Like I said, that's one of those things that, we'd always like to make sure you like the show. And if you guys have any comments, let us know, good or bad. We'll take any information. And if you got any subjects you want us to cover, anything that, in depth you want us to go over, if there's any special guests you want us to have on the show, let us know. We'll see what we can do and see if we can make this show a lot more fun for you guys and a lot more tailored to what your likes are. So we got some cool events coming up here. So if we go ahead and pull up the Kicker webpage, so we got a new one this week. They've actually updated the webpage, the Comp Q. That is an amazing sounding woofer. Not only is it one of the loudest round woofers we have, it's actually one of the best sounding. It's tuned the lowest with some of the deepest, smoothest response. And the other thing that's really cool, if people didn't know, we've got power bars now. So we got the KPB 1 and 2, which are powered power bars, 150 watt and a 300 watt, with broadcast mode. And that broadcast mode is pretty cool. What do you think about the broadcast mode? Tell
I
me
love
what
it, man. Broadcast mode is the coolest function you can get right now, and it's built into the power bar. You're not having to buy anything extra for it. So if any of you and your friends have a Kicker power bar, you guys can all link up together, just jam out together. You want to upset your neighbors, whatever you want to do, man.
We love doing that.
Those power bars are pretty awesome. Auxiliary input, auxiliary output.
You can run a subwoofer.
So, yeah, you constantly keep building on it. So it's really cool. A lot of cool options for that.
Yeah, it really is pretty neat. And one of the cool things about, some of these things that we do and some of the events, and I suppose if I put my glasses on, I could probably see this a whole lot better.
Messages.
Yep, I can see people keep texting me and telling me all kinds of cool things. It's no wonder I couldn't see what I was doing. So anyway, if we go back to the main page on the Kicker Facebook, if you go down here to more and click events, that's going to tell you where we're going to be. And obviously tonight, right here at the top, that's us talking about some new cool marine products. This Saturday, right here at the Stillwater facility, anywhere from 7 o'clock is when we start setting up till about 11 or 12. We've got our Cars and Coffee, which is very low key, laid back. Just come, bring your car. Doesn't matter how nice it is, how tricked out, how custom. We just all hang out and have a lot of fun.
I brought my van.
Yeah, was Tito in the van?
No, cousin Tito, we left him at home, man.
Good. He tends to cause a lot of. He snores really loud.
Yes, he does.
He disrupts the neighbors.
And he's awake when he snores. That's the worst.
Yeah, I've been there myself sometimes. But Bass Wars in Oskaloosa, we've got a great Bass Wars event there. The other cool thing is we've got some of these a lot more of these American flat track series going on, and we've got Lauren in the house. Lauren, why don't you come on over here? He happened to be cruising through the neighborhood this week on another way to a great event. Lauren, as always,
John,
it's good to see you. I'm going to stay sitting because I'll fall out of the chair if I get up.
No problem.
So tell them what's going on at the Red Mile and where it is.
Oh, man, Red Mile, Lexington, Kentucky. It's American Flat Track's first doubleheader in Lexington on Memorial Day. They've never been to Lexington on Memorial Day. Clay, 1 mile track.
That's where the red comes from, right?
Yeah, 130 plus miles an hour into this turn 1 and more than one racing line.
That's crazy. I've been with one of those events with you. They are amazing. If you ever get a chance to go see one, they are so cool and they are exciting. I mean, like you said,
it is crazy for
Harley's
sure.
going 130 down dirt into a corner.
Yeah, and we have the singles presented by Kicker Performance Audio, the American Flat Track singles presented by Kicker Audio.
Gotta have that.
And those guys are still hitting 90s to 100s.
And when you say singles, why don't you tell these guys what that means? That doesn't mean people that aren't married. Well, they might not be married.
They may be. I don't know, actually. I'll have to take a poll this weekend. By the way, that's this weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep, Sunday is
Red
the
Mile
Red Mile 2,
in Lexington,
right?
Kentucky. So, yeah, two days in a row, 2 nights in a row. The AFT singles presented by Kicker, the singles refers to single cylinder as opposed to the Super Twins or Production Twin V-Twins. It's single cylinder. I believe they're regulated to 680 cc's.
That is a big single cylinder.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what that coffee can size.
Yeah.
If you guys remember what coffee cans are,
Yeah.
if you're old like me, when coffee came in metal cans.
Probably somewhere around there for a cylinder size, yeah. But those guys get it done. They get out and get rolling, and man, they are fast and they are fun to watch. They're very, very, very competitive. So they're always, these guys are bumping bars. You know, you see them take off.
Rubbin's racing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
There's a little
it's a lot
kicking
of
and
fun.
gouging and biting going on.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And
should be great. We're really looking forward
I just
to
can
it.
imagine what those things sound like. I mean, 600 cc's. I remember one of my buddies had a 500 Bultaca, I think.
Oh, Bultaca.
Yeah, and he had one of those, back when I was in high school. Good grief, that thing was throaty and meaty sounding. So I can imagine what these things sound like.
Yeah, they have their own sound for sure.
Well, that's cool. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
That's really awesome, yeah.
Lauren, I'm sorry I'm not
time.
going with you. I'm actually getting stuck going other places.
Yeah, I wish you would. That was a lot of fun. We did OKC last year, which we'll do again, I believe, next year.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they were tearing the track up this year, so they just... How long has it been since they redid it? You were telling me earlier.
I don't remember
40-some years, I think, since they've redone the track in Oklahoma City.
So, yeah.
It must have been pretty good to last that long. So
I would guess.
Yeah, that was a blast. And I do think you two are going somewhere in the near future. This is going to be scary. These two guys at the same event at the same time. Where are you guys going?
Florida.
Knowledge Fest.
Knowledge Fest in Orlando. So, yeah, we'll be hanging out there together, getting stuff set up.
Yeah. What are the dates on that one?
It's the weekend.
It's on a weekend. They'll be in Florida.
June 9th through the 13th, I believe.
Yeah. 10, 11th, and 12th.
10, 11, 12.
That's
Thank you.
the same weekend that I'll be in Slamology.
You'll be at Slamology.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get to
other
go with you guys.
crew.
I don't know which I'd rather do, but at least I'm doing one of them. So that's always cool.
There you go, getting out. And
Lauren,
playing,
travel
for sure.
safe. I know you're
John,
like the road warrior.
thank you.
Always good to have you on here. And
Back
take
on the
care of
road
this
tomorrow.
guy when you go to
Carlos?
Florida for me.
Oh, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I hope so. Remember what we talked about.
Yeah, we'll
Nudge,
stay out
nudge,
of
wink.
trouble.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So too funny. So thanks for Lauren. Lauren does a great job of these events, and it's always a pleasure to have him around. And if you guys ever get a chance, come see one of these flat track events, or any of the events that we do. I mean, if we're going to an event, obviously it's pretty important and a lot of fun because we don't do boring things, do we, Carlos?
Not us.
Not at all.
And with Knowledge Fest, there's going to be 2 trainings. We're going to be doing trainings with Dean and Fernando from 5 Star.
And that'll be fun.
Yeah, Ken and Dean will be doing the first training, I believe Saturday, and on Sunday there will be a Spanish training, so Español.
Spanish, huh?
Yes.
I really wish I knew that, so that's what I have you for.
I don't know why they send me, man.
Because you can speak it better than all of us put together.
No Nintendo, man.
So too cool. So talking about events, talking about Slamology, I've never been to one of those. I've always wanted to go. I hear these stories about it. So before the show today, I actually got online, was doing a little digging around. I pulled up some pictures. Now, these are not in any particular order. They're not any particular, year. I mean, they're all just some interesting pictures. So if you guys want to know what Slamology is all about, well, of course, we're going to be there. Of course, Kicker's going to be there in force. But just pulling up some just random pictures that I did steal off the internet. I hope they don't get busted for copyright violation. But, just amazing paint jobs and just some of the coolest vehicles you've ever seen. I mean, and of course, matching bikes with it. If you're into lowered trucks, I mean, got the old C10 sitting there.
Look at that rust on there, man. That's
Nissan,
custom,
all
dude.
kinds of just absolutely cool vehicles. So this show really is everything automotive. It's both, style, performance, and of course it's got, incredible audio systems, which we're going to get into in just a minute. And until I actually saw these pictures, I'm just like, wow. So this is kind of some of the stuff you're going to see out there. So it is one of the biggest car audio events in the country, and I'd probably venture to say in the world. I can't prove that for a fact, but I mean, just looking at some of the pictures of what goes on here, just unbelievable paint jobs. And, I would assume that, these are pretty much all paint jobs. There might be a few wraps here and there, but just great looking vehicles. And talk about audio, just, as much audio as you can jam in a vehicle, speakers wherever you can put them. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of lowered cars. I mean, it is Slamology, so anything that's slammed or lowered should probably be there. one way, shape, or form. Our buddies there at Spade, I've been to their facility several years ago. They do some amazing vehicles and some really, really cool creations, and they've always got a really cool display. I actually see their semi in the upper right corner there.
That's a cool van.
I love this paint job on this one. Of course, going back to this, the 70s and 80s, the style of some of the vehicles, the little blister on the hood. In fact, they lowered the body in that one so far, they actually had to put the big bump in the hood just so they could fit the engine underneath it. That is slammed, I'm telling you what. In fact, Tim, you're going to be taking your truck there, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yep, so Tim Smith will be there with his truck, and that thing is gorgeous as well. Here's a little glimpse of some more of the audio systems that you're going to see. Yeah, it is absolutely nuts what's going on at Slamology. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you come to see that. And as always, keep following whatever we do on Kicker. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, go back to the website. Ernie, you can leave the laptop up if you want. In fact, because we are going to go back and talk about some of this stuff. Go back to our Instagram page. We always are posting cool stuff, and Bill's pretty much the one responsible for all this. We've got some really cool vehicles and just different things on Instagram. This is one that I kind of wanted to pull up just because I thought this was really cool and unique. And this vehicle you might actually see at Slamology. So it looks like an absolutely slam blazer.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, it is. It's a really cool C10. I mean, custom-made console. I love the seat work. I mean, here again, the different use of materials that just seem to blend seamlessly together. And of course, you got to have the performance along with that and the wheels, and just a gorgeous vehicle. Something else Bill pointed out to me earlier today, this is not on our Instagram page, but something we were tagged on. This vehicle is really cool. This is from Lex Auto Custom. And this vehicle, this Jeep is crazy. I mean, it's older gear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some KX amplifiers, and it looks like some older L7s, but what a great install. And that's actually our older Marine drivers. I can tell by the shape of the grills that they've painted yellow. And you've got a KQ30 in there, that 30 band
That's the first thing that stuck out, man.
I still have one of those KQ30s somewhere in my shop out there, but what a cool, 30 band EQ for, adjusting your system. But there's some really great posts, and if you guys, happen to, see a good post, tag us in it. Let us know what's going on, any cool things out there, and we'll try to feature your vehicles on the show. And as always, go back to the Facebook page as we scroll up and get back into the home page. There's all kinds of cool things about what's going on with Kicker, all the different shows, and here we're talking about Slamology. Some great pictures of some things to come. Little hint on the picture in the right there, the motorcycle. But just a lot of cool things that you're going to see. And there's, of course, Ken talking about car audio sessions with Gemsen, which is our Canadian distributor. And I think we keep forgetting to mention that even if you're in Canada, you can register to win some of the prizes. Yep. We've worked it out with Gemsen, our distributor up there. But we can't forget about the Kicker Club. And, of course, we've got a bunch of posts. People keep tagging me in all kinds of stuff. But I wish I could shut that off. But if I shut that off, I don't get any email because I can't remember to turn it back on. But Andy's done a great job with this site. And once again, Andy, hope you're feeling better. You were a little bit under the weather last week, and I haven't talked to you this week. So hopefully things are going there. But something kind of interesting, there's actually a post on here that I wanted to bring up, which you can see right here in the left. And it actually kind of pertains to what we did last week. He was wondering, how to tell what frequency a box is tuned. So this is just curious. Does anyone know how the port tuning on this box? Just so I could set my gains correctly. I got two comp RD12s, 10s, actually D2 there. I can't even read it, even with my glasses on. So I got two comp Rs, dual 2-ohm voice coils, 10 inches, breaking in, wired down to 2 ohms on a power base ACS 1000. Now, when it comes to setting gains, it really doesn't matter about the tuning frequency of the enclosure. It really depends on clipping on the amplifier. So that's when you want to use like a DD1 to sense for clipping, or you want to use an oscilloscope with a sine wave. But more importantly, on a vented box like that, the way you can actually test for tuning is we showed you last week with some of the SMD meters, but the other way is by playing a frequency sweep and looking to where the woofers move the least amount. That is going to be the tuning frequency of the enclosure, because at that point the port is doing all the work. So great stuff here on the website, great questions. So once again, thank you again, Andy, for putting this together. And if you guys have questions, you can post them up on the Kicker Club. Ken's in there answering questions. I'm in there. Do you get in there much and answer questions?
I have not.
Yes, I didn't think I've seen any responses.
Not lately.
But we've got a lot of good guys answering questions, and there's a lot of just consumers out there and dealers that get on that side as well, and just try to help everybody out and make sure that if you got any questions with car audio, you can get them answered. Now that also brings kind of an interesting subject. We've got our own tech support, so support@kicker.com. If you have questions, you can email our guys. You can actually call in to the Kicker from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, or Central Time. We've got 4 guys standing by to answer questions, and they're really good. And if you send in a question overnight, if you send it into support@kicker.com, if they don't get to it, immediately, they usually get it to, back to you that next day, one way or another.
It's the nicest and most knowledgeable tech support in the business, probably.
It almost sounds like you want to date one of them. No, they really are. They're really good guys. They're great to have. They get some really, really good information. So don't forget, like I say, if you have questions that you don't get answered on the show, and I haven't seen much of the chat room up here. We don't have it up tonight for some reason. I'm not sure if it's even possible, so you can kind of watch some of the questions. But I always like to read questions that the guys get. And here's a few questions that they were sent in over the past week. And it's some interesting questions. I might throw a couple at you to see how we do here, Carlos, because I know you can answer them as well as any of the rest of us. So here's a great question. So are the KMC4 and the KMC5s truly 2 ohm stable? And that answer is yes, they're truly 2 ohm stable. If so, theoretically, could I have 12 4-ohm speakers connected to my KMC5 or 8 times connected to the KMC4 without the use of using an amplifier? Is there a loss in power output by doing this, and will it cause the radio to run hot at all? Are there any issues I should be aware of doing this? And when it comes down to it, just series parallel combination, as long as you can keep it to a 2 ohm load, theoretically, there's no limit to how many speakers you can put on. Not to mention other name brands, but Rockford used to do a demonstration with their Punch 45, and this was back in the late 80s, early 90s, where they took that Punch 45 and they hooked up 96 speakers to that one amplifier. It's just a combination of series and parallel wiring, so as long as you do it to a combination that keeps it at 2 ohms, you will not have any issues with damaging the unit. Now, the question on power, yes, it will divide the power between all the speakers. So if you've got a 4 ohm load on a radio producing 20 watts of power, you put a second speaker on it parallel with a 4 ohm load, so that's going to be a 2 ohm load. That radio, if it will go down to 2 ohms, which these will, that would be 40 watts total, but it's still 20 per speaker. Now, when you start talking multiple speakers keeping the same impedance, it's going to divide that power. So if I double that number of speakers again, each speaker is now going to get 10 watts of power. It's never going to truly produce more power than it can at 4 ohms. It just starts dividing that power up between the multiples of drivers.
Keep in mind, you're giving more surface space as well, so you're moving more air.
Yeah, but each speaker is actually not moving as far because it's getting less power. So it's kind of a trade-off, but it's still no problem doing that. So as long as you keep whatever it is, whether it's a head unit or an amplifier, at its rated minimum impedance or above, you can put as many speakers as you can possibly wire. And we won't go into the really ridiculous that you get 1,000 speakers on it. You've got impedance of the wire, which is going to add to it, which means you can put more on. But just assuming a 1-to-1 ratio, you can literally put as many speakers on as long as you don't go below that 2 ohm rating. And then again, last week, if you watched the show, we talked about how the 2 ohms is a nominal impedance. It's an average impedance. The speaker's probably going to read much higher than that, especially depending on what frequency and what type of box and size the box is. But just as a rule, do not go below the minimum impedance, no matter how many speakers you wire to it, and everything will be good.
I remember when I was repping and you guys were doing trainings out in Chicago for me, we were doing, when the Power Sports amps first came out, you guys had like 8 12-inch woofers.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the fun things I got to do.
Yeah, and just with the small amplifier, and it was strong.
That was the PXA 200.1. Yeah. We had 8 woofers on that, running at 0.5 ohm, and that with those 8 12s in that vented box, those dual prefab boxes that we offered, did like 130.4 dB.
It was impressive.
It was crazy
for a small little amp to be able to push all those woofers.
So talking about YouTube and the Kicker website, you could probably go back and actually find that video where we had that stack of the the comp 12-inch, wired to that little PXA, 200.1, 130.4, 130. It was over 130 dB. So that was pretty darn impressive. And I don't think the thing pulled over, 10 or 12 amps of current total. I mean, it was because of that low impedance, so it worked out pretty good.
Pretty impressive.
So another question. Here's a fun one. So I have a 22-foot long pontoon boat with 6.5-inch speakers, spaced pretty evenly along the boat, which is awesome. I plan to add a subwoofer that will be powered by a KMA 800.1, awesome amp. Of course, it's marine rated as well. What would be an ideal subwoofer location? What would you suggest a free air subwoofer to be located centrally under the helm, or something like a TB10 towards the rear sound better? What do you think? What would be a good thing for this guy? What do you think there, Carlos?
Geez, I don't know. I mean, if depending on your boat, you got a live well. I've seen guys using the live well. That way, they're not having to make an enclosure for it, right? But somewhere towards the back, I think is going to give you the best possible sound. But it all depends on the way that boat is set up.
Yeah, and that is the big key is, where do you actually have room to mount a free air sub where it's got some type of enclosure? Now, if you do a TB, here again, it's all going to depend on where you really want the bass. Now, being a boat, it's open air. You don't get the pressure like you do in a car. Right. So the farther you are away from the woofer, the less bass you're going to have. It's just kind of a fact of, an open environment like a boat or, convertible or something like that. So, it really depends. Do you want most of the bass, where you're going to be listening, like on the helm of the boat, or do you want it, more in the bow of the boat where you're going to be sitting if you're just, fishing or talking? So, I mean, ideally, you probably want to put multiple subs on there, and that amplifier will drive, it'll easily drive 2 of the TB enclosures. I mean, depending on how you wire it, you actually probably get 3 of them in there.
So I guess the answer is, where are you spending most of your time on the boat?
Yep.
And if it's multiple places, get multiple woofers.
Yeah, and that's kind of the name of the game. Now, he did mention that he's got the speakers evenly spaced, along the boat, which is great.
Right.
That's why they do it a lot in restaurants. You see in restaurants, you'll have, speakers just all over the place. They do that so you don't have, one pair of speakers that's really loud for people close to it, but it's really quiet far away. You actually break that up by putting multiple speakers throughout the listening zone, and then they don't have to be as loud for everyone to hear it comfortably. So great question. Like I say, in this TB enclosures, they're great for, boats as well. They're not completely waterproof, but, they're pretty well sealed, so they're designed to get wet, some of those outdoor environments. So here's another cool question. It must be Marine Question Day. So what are the biggest differences between a 45 KM654 premium speaker and the KM604W? I see the price difference, but what makes the 654 more desirable over the 604? There's actually a couple things when it comes to those drivers. The 654 is going to be a larger, it's going to be a 6.5-inch speaker, so it's got more cone area and has more output. It also has more power handling. You're rated at 65 watts of power handling versus 50 watts on the 604. But one of the big differences is the tweeter. The 604 uses a 13mm PEI tweeter, and that's that little dome tweeter that you see in about 80% of the speakers in the world. That's like the most popular speaker ever. Whereas the 654 uses a 3/4-inch dome-style tweeter. So it's going to have a lot smoother dispersion and a lot smoother output. And here again, power handling differences, output differences, and the 654 has got much better shielding as far as the magnet goes, so it doesn't affect the compass on a boat, where the 604 is still a polycarbonate basket, just like the 654, so it's not going to rust. It's designed for the marine application, but it doesn't have the magnetic shielding. Because the worst thing you want, is the magnetic, interference to be messing with your compass, so you're constantly driving in circles towards your speaker.
Because you never use a compass or GPS on a boat, right?
Never, ever. No, you always know exactly where you're going, especially at night. So some great questions, guys. Really appreciate you sending those in. That being said, we've got some other cool things we want to do. We always do, consumer questions. We want to talk about rides of the week, and we got a couple different things we're going to talk about here. First of all, I want you to go ahead and pull up the laptop, Ernie. This is actually a really good friend of mine. This is his car. You recognize that guy, Carlos? I bet you've probably seen him on TV once or twice.
I don't know.
This is Shorty from Iron Resurrection, and those guys on their TV show, they just did an amazing job. The cars those guys build are absolutely beautiful.
You call me Shorty.
Well, I'm going to put you guys side by side. It's probably pretty close, but I like both of you just about as much. You're both awesome. But Shorty is the painter for Iron Resurrection, you know, in the first couple seasons, and this is his own personal Impala, and we had such a fun, you know, time, you know, working with these guys on the set of the show, you know, putting our gear on the cars they did for the show, that Shorty actually decided to use our gear in his own personal car, and this was at SEMA, I think it was 2017. But if you guys don't think that this guy is a phenomenal craftsman and car builder, he's not just a painter. This thing is absolutely beautiful. So you notice the PX piece here in the dash, that's the 100.2. And the kick panels, you see just gorgeous console work. It's got the Ride Tech Air Ride controller here. Just the KS speakers, you know, molded into the kick panels. I mean, talk about some craftsmanship. I mean, just gorgeous. And the tweeters are actually mounted above there. Of course,
I love the location where it's at.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You're not kicking it.
Yep, and it's out of the way of that parking brake. And guess what? You could still get to the flow thing.
The flow thing?
Yep. Now, anybody that heard Kip's story on the flow thing, it's one of my favorite stories, and we won't go into today, but that little silver button in the middle, that's called a flow thing. It's the thing on the flow. So just
the flow thing.
I don't know if you ever heard that, but that was one of my favorite Kip stories. So look at the rear deck on this car. So it's not just 6x9s cut into the rear deck and just the standard grille. I mean, everything on this car was done absolutely to the T. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, the styling, the inlays, just really cool work. And like I always tell people, don't be afraid to try something new and different. So
that rear deck looks like a Myers install, man.
Yeah, no, it looks much better than anything I've done. And of course, you can see the cutout for the subwoofer there in the center.
Well, there's no LEDs, so it can't be a Myers.
Well, you know, you got to have that. You got to actually light it up. So, gorgeous car. But you know, the next picture that we have, what do you think that's leading up to? Yep, going down in flames. You know, one way or another. So we've got our fails of the week. Kind of one of my
the exciting part, huh?
I don't know about exciting, but it's actually kind of fun. And once again, if just by some chance that I'm using any pictures of your installs out there, don't be offended, guys. This is all for fun. Like I say, just picking random pictures off the internet. I'm not going to tell who or where they were from, but just, hey, they were on the internet. I guess that's public domain. We might as well have some fun and talk about things of what you should and should not do. And what do you think is wrong with this picture, Carl?
Oh, man. I love that tape job, though.
Yeah, well, first of all, the tape is almost the same color. I think it's red and orange. I mean, you really don't know which is positive, negative, but it is a tweeter.
Holy zip ties, man.
Yep, the zip tie mount. I thought that was pretty cool. And once again, it's actually two different colors of zip ties. If you notice, there's a black one in the middle.
And I mean, the zip tie is taking up so much space. It's going to affect the sound out of there, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to block a little bit of the output of the tweeter. But more importantly, is this vehicle is made for a much larger speaker in the dash. You probably would have been better off. It looks like probably a 4-inch coax, at least a 3.5. I would have put, the coax speaker, 3.5 or 4-inch in the dash location, just because it's going to bring that stage up much higher and give you a better overall image. But just some of those things like, hey, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. That's definitely one of those pictures. What do you see wrong in this picture?
Oh, that looks like one of those.
They're both oval speakers, right?
Yeah, but that's totally one of those, hey, my cousin could do it for a lot cheaper, right?
Yep, that's exactly it.
I got a guy.
I'm still trying to figure out the bottom right screw on that 4x6, what it's actually screwed to, because it looks like it's just kind of floating in air. But obviously, you could have put a much larger speaker. That almost looks like a Toyota adapter. Yes. Yeah, right. Jeremy said it right. If you guys didn't hear, he could have just put another 4x6 or 2 or 3 in that same hole and put a little bit of tape in between each one, because a speaker really needs to be mounted in a sealed cavity.
That's a high-end 4x6, man. That's not a cheap 4x6.
It's technically, they would call that a 4-way.
Yeah.
Yet if you go back, because there's 4 little domes there, so every one of them is an actual working speaker, right? Nudge, nudge,
well, you're hoping. Yeah.
And they were $23 a pair.
So you can hear that clisp,
So, yeah, once again, make sure you seal the front and the back from the speakers. And this, like I say, you might as well not even have mounted a speaker in there. It's just not really going to give you the best performance. So even though we are picking on some of these installs, we'll tell you what you could have done to make it better.
Yeah,
making
absolutely.
A plate to put over that hole to seal the front wave from the back wave from that speaker probably would have helped a whole lot.
I bet you just doing a KS 6x9, and we're going to give you that plate for it, man.
6x9 would have dropped right in, and they have the adapters that are already included.
Dude,
now,
this is custom.
Yeah, this is real custom. I think that's actually real wood. It looks like mahogany.
That looks like my bar stool.
It probably was your bar stool.
I think it was, man.
So this is something, hey, I always want to mention that you want your material you make your kick panels out of, like we did a couple weeks ago where we actually built the kick panels. You want them to be solid. Now this one's definitely solid. You're not going to get any resonance from the material you made the kick panel out of anyway, but from the looks of that, that's got to be about 2 1/4 inches deep. There probably was a little bit better way to do this and a little bit safer way to do it, because you're going to get your foot hooked under that and probably fall out of the vehicle. But hey,
points for trying, man.
Yeah, I was just going to go there. So, you could actually, with about probably 1 quart or 2 of Bondo or Duraglass smeared, you could probably make a real nice shape out of that.
Just carpet it at least, man.
Yeah, wrap some black carpet around it, make it disappear. So that is another option. Now, behind that speaker, you see that little silver dot? I don't know if that's a screw holding the floor mat to the firewall.
Wow.
Not even sure what it is, or if it's a spent bullet or something from. Yes, doesn't matter. But once again, take a little bit more time. You can dress this up pretty good. It actually wouldn't be too bad. But sonically, as long as there's some airspace for that speaker to breathe, it probably sounds pretty darn good. So kudos on that. Now here's the exception. I have no idea what speaker that is, what brand, and I'll be honest, I'm not even sure what's going on here.
Hot glue or caulk?
Exactly. Which is it?
Is it a mixture of both?
And it might be. And I'm not even sure what we have in this area right here. I don't know if that's foam, like styrofoam packing, but the cardboard's not going to be really dense. Yeah. It's just, I think it looks like they actually, if this is caulking or silicone, looks like they used their feet with a caulking gun to put it up there.
Hey, but I think that's Kevlar, man, so it makes that speaker bulletproof.
Yeah, you would hope so. But yeah, well, they did definitely seal the enclosure off, but here again, you've got if that is just cardboard and foam, that baffle's going to resonate quite a bit. You're going to lose a lot of output. And I'm really not going to put any bets on how well that's actually sealed into the door. But hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. We all had to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, man. My Beretta, I broke my kick panels for my 4x6s.
Oh, and not your gun, your car Beretta.
Yeah.
Just making sure we got
93 Beretta. Do they still make that kind of anyway?
I haven't seen a Beretta in so. What was the was that what was there was a Beretta, something like a 34, Z34 Beretta?
Yes. No. Z28, the Z34.
Z28 was the Cavalier.
Z24 was the Cavalier.
Okay.
The Beretta was the Z24.
So all the Z series and the GM bodies, and none of them were very good. I definitely had the Cavalier. I had an 84 Cavalier. That was the year I graduated high school. But
it was a square Cavalier.
Yeah, they really were.
Or my grandpa had that.
Way back before they had the radio down on the console. I mean, yeah, that was a fun car. That was like my 3rd car I think I had. But anyway, have fun with your installs, guys. Like I say, don't be offended if we use your pictures. It's all for fun, and that's all we're really trying to do is just have a little bit of fun with this.
Hey, if you've had to fix any of these, share those pictures. We'd love to see those too.
I mean, share them all. I mean, share them, on the Kicker Club site with Andy, or you send them to Bill. Bill would be glad to send them to me.
The segment of Shacked and a Fool.
And, we changed things up a little. This was supposed to be Carlos's introduction. It was supposed to be that slide right there. But you are my special guest tonight, so we definitely, bringing you out here. We've been promising that we were going to talk about something. So, Carlos, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to introduce something new, to the public here today.
As I talk about it, I want to show you guys this speaker right here, which is our KMTC tower speaker.
And those things are incredible.
It's amazing, the sound that we get out of it. I mean, for years we've been doing shows. We do all these shows, and we get nothing but nice things told to us about this. A lot of good compliments.
Except for the people that complain they're too loud. Which is a compliment.
It's usually, hey man, they're drop dead sexy. They look great. They're going to be great on my boat or on my truck. I mean, they look great. They sound even better. I mean, with us doing these shows, I think one of the best things about when we do shows is when you see someone coming around the corner and they locate the music, because the music drew them, right? And they find it, and they're like, that's the booth. And then they start walking towards the booth. And as they get closer to that booth, that smile keeps getting bigger and bigger. Why is it that they're smiling like that? It's because we've all had the experience when you're listening to compression horn driver, as you get closer, yeah, it grabs your attention, but it gets fatiguing, right? Like those tweeter bullets or those compression horn drivers, it can be fatiguing on your ears.
You
so
get that
as
listener's fatigue.
Yeah, as you get closer, it starts getting distorted or breaking up, and it just doesn't sound that great anymore. So that's why I love when these guys come up and they just go to the booth and they're listening to the speaker. Some will even just close their eyes and say, hey, can I change the song? Can you play a track for me? No problem, let's play that track. So guys love this. We had great feedback from it. The only thing negative that we heard about it is, I wish you had a coax version of it.
Well, that's kind of hard to do with that big horn. I mean, we had the 6.5 and the 8-inch coax. I mean, show them.
Yeah.
I mean, show them the 8-inch coax. I mean, so we've got the 6.5, the 4, and the 8-inch coax, which this is the coax version of our Marine speakers, which have both the white and the gray grills. 1-inch tweeter. I mean, it's a great sounding coax driver. It sounds killer.
Gray grills.
So,
awesome driver.
We really went back to the drawing board and decided to do something completely different, something kind of in between the two. And that's why we're going to introduce today the new KMXL series of coax drivers for Marine and for power sports, believe it or not.
So these, the same exact technology that you saw on these tower cans are available in a coax as well. And if you look at it, for what it does, it is pretty shallow. Again, with the white and the gray grills, if you needed them, or just put them on just the way they are themselves. You got your RGB wire right there. You got your speaker wires, your speaker inputs, everything you need. All the technology that you saw on the KMTC, now in a coax, available in a 6.5, an 8-inch.
All kinds of toys over here. And
we're not done yet. 6x9. So let's talk about what makes these coaxes.
You can't have the logo upside down,
I know,
Carlos. Come
how
on.
embarrassing. Or I could have just
See,
taken
it's
the grill
live
off,
TV.
right?
That's what happens, or live internet.
So let's talk about what makes them special, guys. So first of all, with all of our Marine product, it's just like all of our Marine product, most of our, I want to say all of our product, right? It is a Stillwater Designs product. That means it was designed and engineered here in Stillwater, Oklahoma by our engineers. Product development comes up, they see a need and they say, hey, you know what? Let's fill that need. So this product is designed here from the design all the way up until production. Everything is done here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So that's very important. We do not manufacture, right? We do not buy any parts, or we don't take product off the shelf from a factory and then tinker with it and make it our own. It is from the ground up ours, right?
Yeah, we own all the tooling on every part of this. I mean, not only did we have to develop the speaker, we had to make all the tools to make all the parts.
That's right. Make the tools to make the tools, too,
exactly,
right?
pretty much.
To make the parts. Another big important thing about this type of speaker is it actually has its own crossover, which I'll show you right here.
And it's an actual dedicated, purpose-built crossover. It's not just capacitor inline.
Right, exactly. That's a big deal for these Marine customers. Most everybody that's out there in the market selling a product like this is just putting a cap in line, and you're just not getting the music that you want out of it, right?
Yeah, all they're looking for is coverage for volume. They're not actually looking for sound quality.
Exactly.
They just want quantity. Where, with the crossover, we can actually give you both. I mean, it is a premium speaker.
Getting a Deutsch connector to make sure nice, clean, secure connection. I mean, safety is very important for us, as we've always talked about.
Did you say a Dutch connector?
Deutsch.
Okay, just
Deutsch.
making sure.
Am I saying it correctly?
I don't know.
Is it my accent that
I would
says?
say Molex if that was me, but that's my upbringing.
Another big important thing is this horn is actually very functional. It is not just a compression horn that, hey, it looks cool or whatever. It is very functional. Now, I have to explain this horn with a very difficult word for me to pronounce, and
all words are different.
I'm gonna read it because I have a hard time pronouncing it. It is equitangential, or ET. Let's call it ET.
Equitangential?
For short. Yes, equitangential.
Don't know if I said it right.
I can't say it right for the life of me.
But there's a special mathematic formula that's not just, a shape we just picked randomly.
Right. So the whole point of it, the ET horn is it's going to make that speaker louder and efficient. So it doesn't matter the distance you are from it, it's going to sound great no matter what. You can turn it up full blast, you're not going to have any problems, it's going to sound great.
And it sounds natural. Now, basically, it's been explained to me that if you were to take a piece of rope or string, you hold it from your hands, you get that curve. So if you take that curve and cut it and flip it, that is the shape of that horn, is that curve cut, which is a natural shape, so it gives you a more natural sound, but the horn itself amplifies the output to give you your increased in overall volume.
Bottom line, guys, it sounds great and it's loud. It's a very loud speaker. It sounds excellent. Number 4 is going to be being from the ground up, Real Marine TM. Real Marine TM is our
trademark.
Right.
Gotcha.
So what makes it Real Marine, John? What do you think makes it Real Marine?
It's right here in front of us. It's real. Isn't that what Real Marine means?
Well, so we make sure that we take all the steps to make sure that it's going to be in the marine atmosphere and not having any issues, right? So they will stand up to the spray, water spray, salt water spray, and they have UV protection, so you're not going to have any issues whatsoever. So, for example,
unlike me, it's UV protected.
Right? Yeah.
I keep bursting out into flames in sunlight.
You're worse than this white color, man.
No, I know.
You're translucent.
I thought the sun would just reflect off me, but no.
So we use very specific materials on this product so that it can be used in those specific environments, like in a saltwater environment, right? So for example, we're not using a stamped steel basket where a lot of guys, or some companies in the industry are still using stamped steel baskets where you can have issues with rust or corrosion, right, with salt water. So we're making sure we're staying away from that. The materials that we're using, it's going to be a poly mixture.
Polycarbonate, basically.
Yeah, polycarbonate mixture for the basket so that it's going to be able to be lightweight. It's also going to withstand salt water. And it also withstands the heat. So the same material that's going to be used on the horn is going to be the same material as the basket itself. So it is designed to withstand all that heat. Also, we're going to give you 316L stainless steel screws. Anything that's going to be mounted 316L stainless steel.
I've seen stainless steel rust before.
You don't believe me? Go look at a shower curtain, look at your license plate screws. I mean, it's a big deal. 316L just means less carbon on there, so it's going to have less pitting, less corrosion, and stainless steel in heat will pit. So we want to make sure that we're going to have stainless steel on here that will not pit or corrode. That's very important for you guys. What else am I missing on here? We're stepping up our game with our Marine. These are going to be our high performance, high end Marine speakers right now. So not only are we stepping up the game just for ourselves, but we're trying to create a new standard. So these, again, guys, it doesn't matter if you have speakers that are loud. I mean, my kids play loud music. They make loud music. Doesn't mean I want to hear them all the time, right? You would agree.
Exactly.
You've heard them,
yeah.
right? So we want to make sure that we're going to have a speaker that's loud and it sounds pretty good. So what John's going to show us right now is they will just drop into our existing cans.
There's a lot of foam in there, so I just want to sit down. But yeah, they do fit in both the 6 and the 8-inch Marine cans, either in black or white. And you get the gray and the white grills with each one of them.
And they all have RGB LEDs on there,
which is really cool for the lights.
What else do we have on here, John? What am I missing?
Well, something I want to go into a little bit more detail on is these are not like a conventional coax speaker. No. I mean, we talk about a coax speaker being, a tweeter coaxially mounted within the mid-range. Now, it is coaxially mounted, but it's very specific in how it's done. And thank you for pulling up my little picture here, Ernie, because I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. What's really unique about these speakers is while there are 2 voice coils, there is only 1 magnet. So it's actually a dual motor coaxial speaker, and motors being the voice coils, but it's only got 1 magnet. Now, how does that work? So it's really interesting because you've got your center pole piece here in the red. You've got your top plate, which is in yellow. The green is going to be the actual neomagnet. So the neodymium magnet's 20 times stronger than ferrite. Then you have your bottom plate here on a conventional speaker. which comes across, and the diaphragm is on the back side of the driver. And while your voice coil for your 6.5 or your 8 or your 6x9, this is the voice coil for the primary driver, the woofer in the series. You've got another voice coil, which is actually using the back plate as the top plate for the rear speaker. So that's how we can use one magnet to keep the depth on these speakers, as small as possible and get all the performance without having to have two different, complete, separate, motor structures. So being a compression driver, it takes all the energy from this dome. And that dome is 1.7 inches across, if I remember right. So you got a 1.7 inch dome that actually fires through this little compression chamber and then is allowed to exit through the throat of the horn, and that's where it gets its sound. And I've got another really cool little piece over here. Let me take these out. Just so you can see all this. I mean, really it's kind of fun to grab these things and take everything apart. But so I've got the back of the 6.5 inch speaker here. If we take it off, there's your diaphragm. So flip this up so Tim can see it. So that is actually the diaphragm for the tweeter on the back side of the 6.5. And in fact, if we take this out, you can see this little compression area. Whoop. Hold it up where Tim can see it. You can see as you can see, clear through that speaker. And if I have that diaphragm in place, if you actually look down the center, the silver you see is the back side of that dome. So really cool, the construction on this and the way they're put together to give you that output and to be basically a horn-loaded 6.5 without having to have a whole separate motor structure bolted to the back of that. That makes these things really cool and really exciting. But it even goes farther than that, because while they're, originally were designed for marine, they've got some great other applications, and we're going to talk power sports. But I think I got one more picture here, Ernie, if you wouldn't mind pulling the laptop up, which probably shows you this whole driver even a little bit better. So let's just go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit more and pull this down. So now you can see here's the voice coil for the woofer, your your top plate, which is here's your magnetic gap through here, and of course, there's your X-Max from this point to this point. You've got your magnet material, which is Neo. You've got your top plate, which is the tweeter, which is the back plate for the mid, and here's your voice coil for the tweeter, and then of course here's the diaphragm that goes across for the tweeter, which fires into the center of this opening that's then expelled through the horn. So really, really neat, craftsmanship, and a lot of work went into designing these speakers to give them, the power handling, and we're talking incredible power handling. It's 150 watts continuous. In fact, we've got a bike over here, and talking with Joe Gross, who actually was lucky enough to get the first set of them, probably because he's head of the department. But
I think he knows somebody here.
Yeah, he probably does. But he said the 6x9s and the 8-inch will take 150 watts full range all day long. That means no high-pass crossover. Whereas with the 6.5s, a 60 hertz high-pass crossover at 150 watts of power is all you need. Why don't you go and tell them the other two things about the 6x9 and the 6.5 that make them unique so that they actually work on motorcycles and in the power sports market.
If we're looking on here, on the 6x9, also another cool thing on these is they use an aluminum tweeter as well. But if you see this membrane that's on here, this nylon membrane, that's going to make sure it's going to keep moisture out of it. All right. You also are going to have this gasket in the back to make sure wherever you mount it, whether it's going to be on the hull of your boat or if it's going to be an enclosure on a motorcycle or on a boat, it's going to make sure moisture does not get through there.
So that's pure silicone on that gasket.
Yeah, nicely.
It's not just a foam gasket.
Nice tight seal on there, right?
And yeah, that material keeps that horn, especially in the bag lid, from filling up with water, so it doesn't muffle all your high frequency. The woofer we don't care about because you just turn it up, it's going to blow all the water out of it anyway.
Right. And as we know, guys that want to go into something more rugged, so for example, you're going to go use it on a motorcycle, or if you're going to use it in a power sports application like a side-by-side, right? Because we've never had a situation where you're in a side-by-side and the engine's too loud, right? So
louder's better, right?
If you ever have that situation, these will just drop right in, no problem whatsoever. But
I think I can get this out of here. Maybe. There we go.
If you're going to drop it in to your motorcycle, you could use this included on a 6.5 inch. You can use this included horn that's interchangeable, that still uses our proprietary horn geometry. And you're going to take this grill off.
Probably would have been easier to take that off if I took the LED ring off.
Sorry. You know what? I'm not going to take it off. I'm just going to show you guys how it screws on here.
Just a few more snaps and it'd been off there.
Yeah, I don't want to mess this up, man.
It's not ours. Go ahead.
Right.
It's Joe's. We don't care.
Hey, they hardly trust me with product, man. So it screws just right on, real easy.
We always give Carlos the products we need to test to see what's going to break first.
There you go.
See, there you go.
And now
show them the profile, so how low profile that horn actually is. So that's designed to fit underneath the grills on the 2014 and up Harley fairings.
They should just drop right in without any problems. And as you guys see right there, that's where you're going to have your LEDs. So if you're going to use it on your Harley or your motorcycle, you're going to lose that part right there, so you don't have LEDs unless you want to.
When you put it up in the fairing anyway.
Right. Unless you're going to do something custom. I mean, like on Joe's bike over here, he put it on the lowers, so he kept his LEDs, not a problem whatsoever.
Hey, Ernie, go ahead and pull up my laptop again. Got a couple pictures of the bike we took earlier. So here you see the KMXL 65s in the lower speaker pods with the full-size horn and with the LEDs on. They look great, and you talk about killer sound. Here are the 6x9s with the LEDs, also mounted in our bag lids, which here again, we started selling the bag lids a few years ago, which you can get either pre-painted, any color you want, as long as you want gloss black. I mean, so any color you want, as long as it's gloss black, or you can get them ready to paint. When we say ready to paint, I mean, they literally are. They don't have to be sanded, pretty much just degrease them and shoot them with paint. They are that close to being done. So there's Tim actually zooming in live on the bike, and these speakers look great, and I wish you could hear how loud they are, but they fit so nicely within this front little speaker pod. And I'm not sure if you can zoom in on the speaker in the back, Tim, on the 6x9 as he pans back, and that's why we got Tim here because he's such a good camera operator. Oh, I better mention, guys, it's about time to close the registration for tonight's contest. So we got about 2 or 3 more minutes, so make sure you get your registration in to win the headphones, the t-shirts, and the koozies. But that's that Harley bag lid, and once again with those 6x9s, I wish you guys could hear this bike. It is loud. I mean,
very impressive.
You can hear it clear across the building, and these speakers absolutely love power.
Yes.
So 150 watts all day long, every day. Just drive the snot at them. They're going to like it.
Yeah, they're hungry, man. They will eat. They're just like my ex-girlfriend's family, man. Give them all that power you want. Just keep feeding them. They'll take it.
It's too darn funny.
Now, guys, I want to make sure, if you've ever been through any of my trainings, you guys know I always talk about think outside the box. Don't just limit yourself using these, again, like we said in marine atmosphere. We said in a power sports application, a side-by-side, and a motorcycle. 6x9s, I've seen guys using these in sports boats. JC down in Florida, man. He's got his sport fisherman, and there is no speaker that you see out there, but it is loud. He's got speakers, what do they call it, in the gunnel? Facing down.
So. I'm not a boater.
They're facing down. He made enclosures for them. I mean, don't be limited, guys. I mean, just like John was saying, be creative. Try different things. But these are a perfect solution for any vehicle, whether it's going to be your motorcycle, your boat, your side-by-side, your everyday driver that's got a quad box in the back. This is going to cut through all that bass, give you all your mids and highs that you possibly want.
I'm waiting to see those 6x9s in the rear deck of a 68 Chevy.
Oh, that would be great.
With the LEDs hooked up to the brake lights. When you step on the brake light,
that's
they light
right.
up. Hey, safety first, right?
That's the Myers special, man.
But they literally are the same footprint as the 6.5, the 6x9, and the 8-inch speakers that we sell normally. So it's not a special basket.
Yeah, you're not
if you go to
building
drop
anything.
them in, you're not going to have to do a lot of modifications. And don't forget, it'd be cool to take the 8-inch, put the LED rings behind them. We got those full RGB LED rings. So we don't have the 6x9 LED rings.
I know.
Yet. I mean,
well,
just
you
thought
that
of that.
6x9 hole saw though.
Wait, yeah, it's just you've got to work it a little bit to make it work. Though there are square hole saws.
We did talk about that, but
Yep,
I want that 6x9 hole saw.
Yeah, that's going to be a little. It's kind of like the metric pliers.
That's right.
Keep dreaming. Keep passing that weed or.
It's almost like that 10 mil that never gets lost, right?
Yeah, they always get lost. I mean, 10 millimeter and 7 millimeter are the ones that get lost. But once again, these are great speakers that they will be available. We're talking the end of Q3, early Q4. So, just literally a few more weeks, they'll be in the dealer's hands, and you guys can go listen to them for yourselves. And make sure you put some power on them, because if you really want them to shine, you dump the power to them. They are going to love it.
Speaking of power, John.
Yeah, it's about time to do some power. Once again, the contest is hereby closed. I'm looking at the clock up here on the wall. And so they're going to go compile the entrance to see who wins. So we also got another thing we're going to do tonight. We're going to do a dyno. But first of all, we need to bring somebody else on. Somebody I've been talking to for a while has been dying to see these. I think standing by in the wings via remote, via Lake Havasu. And I know we've had Jeff on before, but he's been just absolutely pestering the crap out of me about these speakers. So I want to make sure we had him hanging on. So Ernie, why don't you see if you can bring Jeff in for us? And I hear a little static in the background. Jeff, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
There he is.
Jeff.
We can hear you. We just can't see you. But
is it staticky?
Oh, it's just a little background noise. I'm just giving you a bunch of.
Turn the fan off, hon.
It's not bad.
It's our swamp cooler over here. It's a little warm.
It's Havasu. How warm is it there?
About 107 today.
100.
Whoa.
That is literally double what it is here, and I'm not kidding. It was like 52 degrees here at lunch. With rain.
Cool.
Got to have that.
It's still cool. When it's 123, 125, that's hot.
You're sick. Just absolutely sick. But Jeff, it's always a pleasure to have you on here. And once again, we just had you on about a month ago. But I see your awesome boat in the background. It was sure fun actually getting to see and hear that boat. I'm not kidding when I tell you that is the loudest boat I've ever been on my life. I mean, it is so cool. 415s.
I never even got to go check it out because I was in the eye of the storm, but I heard it, and there was everyone around it. I mean, that was a really cool boat, man. I just didn't get a chance to get in it, though. I saw John dancing on it, though.
Yeah, you got the 12s under the seat, the comp Qs under the seats.
Nice.
7 cubic foot vented enclosure built in. Yeah, just incredible work. And like I say, we really wanted to see what you're going to think about these new KMXLs. What do you think the applications for your customers are going to be for these things? Or can you even like narrow it down?
It's a game changer.
Yeah, they're going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. I mean, I need 16 pairs of them for my boat.
Jeremy, did you hear?
Yeah, Lauren said he'll bring them back. I just texted him.
Right.
He's still in the studio, so he's our
Yeah,
neighbor.
actually,
so
he's got his trailer.
Well, I wish we had 16 pair to let you have right now. I mean, they're actually like so fresh, and these are still, what we call off-tool samples. They're not, production mode, but they're exactly what the production's going to be. So we're talking, like I say, Q3, which is, the end of Q3, which is the third set of, months of the year divided up into quarters. That really didn't make any sense at all. So it's the 3 months after the half of the year.
See how excited
that's perfect,
you got him?
clear as mud.
So I have a question. Are you able to replace the diaphragm if it was to fail? Because you could just pull the backpack off.
That is the funny thing you asked that, because I actually emailed our warranty director just today, and apparently he slipped out before I got the email to him. I do not know as of yet. But I think, like I say, it's easy enough to pull it out. I mean, it's literally 4 screws.
It seems like you would. You think that you could buy a replacement if you did buy them.
I think I have been told that this is exactly the same diaphragm that's in the KMTCs and the KMFCs.
Oh, wow.
So, like I say, literally, it is the step between the coax and those drivers. So, it's not hard to do. So, if we don't, I think it's something we, maybe talk to. And, talking with Joe, his bike that's sitting over here behind me, I was talking with him earlier. I was asking about the diaphragms. And he's like, I have played this thing so hard for so long, and I haven't damaged anything. It's like, Joe, but you understand what distortion is. You do have a little bit of tact when it comes to that. Not everybody does, but they are going to be extremely durable. I mean, our guys, I know I've heard these things in the listening room just absolutely blaring, and I guarantee you they were getting a lot more than 150 watts, and they took every bit of it. So that's probably going to be.
The 9s and the 11s are beautiful. I mean, so if they're anything like that, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't see a lot of them coming back, through warranty.
No.
And
I test them quite well.
Yes, you do. I will attest to that. I think my ears are still ringing. But yeah, I think it's just going to come down to the point where, if we have a need for it, I mean, it's something that obviously we could do if there's enough of a call for it. But if it, we don't need to, there's no reason to put them in the price sheet. But
Right.
I'm just curious to see, what they're going to do out in the field. And I'm just excited to see people's faces when they get to actually hear these things, people outside the building, because, wow, they are loud and they sound great. So talking about your boat, obviously we want to do a dyno on the 1200 too. We're kind of having some fun here, and we still got a few little things to play with before tonight's show's over. But when it comes to the 1200 too, there's a good profile picture of your boat. Ernie, go ahead and pull up my laptop if you don't mind. So you can't see it all in the picture behind Jeff back there, but here's actually a picture of his boat out on the water. We talked about, the 1200.2 amplifier, and you guys got to see. Tell them what they're looking at, Jeff, because if you don't know, this may be kind of shocking.
That is 10 of the 1200.2s. That's just for the mids and highs. So that's the 10 1200.2s, and then there's 4 1600 ones, and then 2 1200 ones. But that's
repeat that, because those numbers are mind-boggling.
There's 10 1200.2s.
So 12,000 watts there.
Yep, and then 4 1600s and 2 1200s. 0.1s.
So pretty close to 20,000 plus watts of power.
Yep.
That is awesome.
And that's set up 300 watts per 8-inch speaker. So every speaker in this boat gets 300 watts.
And see, that's the way to do it. Right? I mean, good power, good clean power. What are you running for batteries and electrical system on this monster?
Right now, it's got 5 of the Odyssey, the PC1800s, the briefcase batteries.
Yeah, where there's like 210 pounds a piece.
Yeah, close. Right around 160. I get about 750 pounds of batteries, and we're working with excess power on getting to lithium and try those out, because the weight that's in the boat is it's amazing. It's a lot of weight.
Well, that and speakers and amplifiers, and you probably got 100 pounds of wire there alone.
Oh yeah. Well, there's 12 runs of zero gauge.
Jeez. Wow.
From the front to the back. And there actually is a physical battery at the amp rack. So behind those 4 amplifiers, there is another. That's the 5th battery, because they just can't. Those batteries are very good for storage. They can't release as much current.
Right, due to the internal resistance.
Instantly. So I needed to add. Well, you remember when we had some issues in the beginning, putting that battery there, really fixed what was going on with the boat itself. But it's still not enough. It doesn't release fast enough.
You're talking 20,000 watts of power. I mean, that takes some serious plumbing, some serious juice.
But if you were at Desert Storm, that boat played for 12 hours at almost max volume.
Yeah, I think I listened to every bit of it.
Yeah, and you were like a block away.
Yeah.
Over all the other noise.
It was crazy, but it's so much fun. And like I told people, when we came back from that show, if you guys get a chance to come out to Desert Storm, it's worth spending your vacation there. I mean, if you guys like boats and like music and just like, seeing, an obvious disrespect for budgets.
Yeah, you're right.
Because that budget
insurance company.
That's a foul word down there, because we're going to see who can outdo everybody else. But it was really cool, and I can't wait to get out and see it all again next year. And now this time maybe I won't be quite so overwhelmed. I'll actually get to enjoy it more and enjoy it, because I was just like walking, like tripping on my jaw, because like it was so much fun.
When you were here, we weren't actually set up. I was kind of in limbo. That we're probably your newest kicker dealer now. We found a location.
As of Monday, wasn't it?
As of Monday, we opened at Elite Audio Havasu. So we're here. We're doing work, building boats. It's going great. Super busy. Super supportive of Kicker. Kicker's been excellent to us. So thank you very much.
You're a great person to partner up with, and like I say, the work speaks for itself. And You know, I don't care, you know, where your boat is. If you want some of the best work on a boat done, I mean, take your boat to Havasu. Take it to Jeff and have them dial it in because, I mean, I can tell you up close and personal, just the craftsmanship is phenomenal. And he's not afraid to make it loud. Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
So cool. Well, we're about ready to throw some amplifiers on a dyno here in just a couple minutes. So feel free to hang out if you want to see what goes on, see how much power these things actually do. Because
I want to, because I have 10 of them. I want to see what it's at.
You know, we rate these amplifiers at 300 watts per channel at 4 ohms, 600 per channel at 2 ohms, and we do that full range. And one of the reasons we do it full range is, you know, for the CAN speakers like the KMTCs and the KMFCs, but there's no reason you couldn't run 8 of the KMXLs off one of the 1200s, you know, wired down to 2 ohms.
Yeah. I
mean, that would be the ticket. It's still going to be 150 watts to every single speaker. So, you know, that's the advantage of having a really high power, you know, 2-channel full range amplifier. So that being said, let's get to do some dyno in here. I don't think I've got any more pictures here we need to pull up. Nope, that would be it. I did so much pictures today, I almost forgot what I was doing, so I want to go back and check over the laptop one more time.
Make sure you close your MySpace.
MySpace? I don't even know what MySpace is. MySpace is right here, Carlos. All right, so let's have some fun. Let's go do some dyno stuff. And actually, Carlos, while I'm setting up for this, if you want to kind of go through there and see if we got any questions out there.
Sure.
Jeremy's real good about posting those up online. So, and we'll let Jeff hang out. He can kind of see where we're going with the dyno run here.
6x9 also 150 RMS. The 6x9 and the 8-inch are going to give you, let me make sure. They're going to be, 150 RMS. No, I'm sorry. The 6.5 and the 6x9 are going to be 150. The 8-inch is going to be 250.
See, I just learned something new today.
Yeah. What are the surrounds constructed out of, and the material of the spider on the marine drivers? The surrounds are a treated cloth. Obviously, in the marine atmosphere, you're going to want to have a treated cloth. The spider, that I don't know. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know what, you know.
Actually,
I don't
the
know
spider, it's going to be Santoprene, just like the surround.
Okay.
So, and that's actually kind of like a double spider because there's a spider around the horn body itself. So, in fact, in one of the cutaways, you could see like 2 little hoops, and that's actually I don't know if this one, if we can take it apart, if we can go that far apart with this one.
Well,
the spider's actually gone on this one since this is the break-apart model.
I didn't want to give an answer that it could have been incorrect.
You can kind of see it on that one if you look, if you pull that horn off there. And
let's check it out.
But I'm ready to tear up an amplifier, too. We could let the magic smoke out of it. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
I've done it before in demonstrations.
If you wanted John to check something out, he can let some smoke out.
Actually, while you're tearing that apart,
let's smoke back in.
Yeah, I know. As hard as you try. So Jeremy had the guys make this great little display. Tim and his guys in back made this little, and you'll probably recognize this, Jeff, from the semi. But we went ahead and lit those up, so you can guys get kind of an idea side by side what the 3 sizes look like, and kind of see the LEDs. And
I can't see it.
Yeah, well, he tried, but
can't see it.
Let's do some dyno work. We got another question. Oh, that's still the same question up there. Is the RGB still mounted on the bottom side of the tweeter braces? And that is not correct.
No, it is going to be on the grill itself, on the inside.
So they're actually encapsulated within the back of that ring that's right around the horn. So they're not actually mounted the tweeter. And the reason for that is because that horn has to be, you know, removable for the 6.5 inch. But that whole ring will pull off when mounting them in the bag lid or in the fairings on the 14 and up Harleys.
Good questions.
So very cool. So we're going to go back here with the dyno, and I've had this dyno set up, you know, so we don't have to go through all the setup processes on the dyno. So we've got the radio set up. We're going to go ahead and just jump right into dyno mode. So we want to let's do a certified dyno run first, because certified is going to be the most accurate power from the dyno. So we'll hit enter. We're going to do 2-channel mode right now. I've already set the gains, and let's go ahead and let's do a 4 ohm rating first, Carlos. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
So do 4 ohms. It's going to tell us we're on track 4 or 9. We're going to do full range. That's track 9. So let's go back to track 9. I'm going to hit start. Now, if I watch the numbers right here, it's going to give me total power output on left and right channels. And we're watching the LEDs kick up. We're watching the power go. Wow, we're up to 100 watts. Round the corn. All right, so this amplifier is rated at 300 watts per channel at 4 ohms. We got 334 and 332, so that's pretty close to left and right, and that's about 10% more power than rated. So the real power is going to be what does it actually do at 2 ohms. So let's go back to reset the dyno. Going to push the buttons harder, apparently. So let's go down to a 2 ohm load. Now remember, the 1200.2s being full range, they are not bridgeable. So you cannot bridge this to a mono channel, and you do not want to run it under 2 ohms. It is 2 ohm stereo minimum impedance. So let's go ahead and do that. It says play track 9, start dyno. So we're now going to do the certified 2 ohm run. Watch the numbers right here. We'll start to see the LEDs popping up on the amplifier. We're looking for a magic of 600 and up per channel. And we have come up with 627 and 618. So it is actually done. It's rated certified power. So let's keep having some fun with the dyno. Let's go a little further with it.
So John, someone just asked about, will the 6.5 inch take 300 watts? And that's the max power rating, so it can handle it. I would try to not push it that hard, though.
Yeah, I mean, here again, it's going to depend, obviously, on how you push it. I wouldn't be afraid of using a bigger amplifier on speakers than what they're rated. Just remember, you got to listen for things like the speakers bottoming out, right, stretching the suspension. But I'm never opposed to having a bigger amplifier than what the speakers are.
I'm gone. Am I still on there? Over there? Mm-hmm. Well, it's just me. Go Elite Audio. 2080 Goma. 928-302-1035. Got this beautiful Can-Am right here. Might have blown up more than the amplifier there. Guess everybody's stuck with me. Hey, I'm on TV now. Can you say I'm a kicker girl? Okay. Can you stand up so we can see your shirt? But stand up on the couch. No, up here. Wow, is that your favorite shirt? Daddy has one. Just as kicker, huh?
Kicker one?
That's a kicker one. Because you love kicker, huh?
Yeah, why are you wearing those?
It's on their site. Live.
They may have a technical difficulty here. This is the new Murphco Kicker Can-Am. I can give you my cell phone number. We could text for some questions. It's
Somebody asked why are they just wondering if they're not. They're for everything, but they're great weight.
what we'll do is we'll take a little walk here since nobody's here. Try this with the laptop. We'll go through some of the stuff that's in the boat. A lot of you don't get to see this, but it took a lot of work. Hopefully, don't fall. This is the part of the system. It's got a full sea deck flooring, all embossed with the kicker logos. There's some of the install, just a group of some of the 8-inch speakers that are in here. This is the full, this is a very custom sub enclosure. It's actually cut into the floor of the boat. That's removable. It's close to a 10 cubic foot sub enclosure, followed by the 415s, which technically isn't done yet, but we rushed it. Oh, alternators. There are no alternators. It's a factory alternator that's in the boat. There's one battery that actually runs the boat only. The 5 batteries are ran through 2 of these. If I can get it there. Excess power, PSC 90 power supplies through a generator. And with those batteries that are in it, it can run 4 to 6 hours without being charged. So I can run it with or without a generator. That's the benefit of those batteries. But it is just the factory alternator. Just one battery runs the boat. The rest run the stereo. But, what are the questions, Chris?
Kathy Westbrook says, Lord have mercy.
We need mercy on this boat, Kathy. Thank you. Then we have, this is never, let's see, it's still under construction. This boat will never be done. It's supposed to go to Slamology, but we don't think we're going to make it. We might fly out there, but with the new store, it's kind of.
Some people want to see what the Can-Am looks like.
I'm coming there now. I got it. So we have. Oh, sorry. Let me try this. I'm not good. Not used to this, folks. Sorry. So this is the new Can-Am. We just outfitted this. Liam, do you know? I got one of the kicker reps actually here. Liam, who works for the distributor Murphco.
So I've just actually signed up with Murphco. They're the Southern California, Nevada, and Arizona reps. In this one, we built it for Desert Storm. In the dash, we have a pair of the 6.5-inch speakers up top. We also have a pair of the 6.5-inch kick panel speakers down low. We're running L710s under each of the front seats with individual control knobs through the center. Everything is running through the new power bar. This is our head unit. This runs everything in the system.
So that controls Bluetooth. Everything in this thing, right? You don't need a head unit.
Everything. There's no head unit. This is our head unit. Everything is run through there back to our power system. We have a pair of amps running in the back. Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly which ones we set.
These are the 905s, I believe.
Yeah, I believe you're right on that one. And then we also have, just for a little bit of extra sound, because everyone likes to pull up and party, we have the 9-inch cans up on the back there and running through a pair of AM Group 24 batteries in a custom box down inside under the tray here.
That's they use all the full river batteries and whatnot in these.
And that's about it. The rest of the build was Morgan Motorsports here in town. Jason Morgan helped us put this together. This is one of his custom trunks. He does a lot of off-road stuff, very high quality. And he helped us get this together in a bit of a rush for Desert Storm. And
everything was a rush. We're all rushing. Here we got Gator Wraps.
Last minute wraps. We had Rod's guys down at Gator Wraps take care of the wrap and get this thing looking amazing for the show. And static powder coating, finishing everything off, doing all the cage powder coating. Wheels was all done by them, along with all our own trailing arms.
Rod also wraps all of our vehicles here. He did the boat. If you can see in there, it's actually ghosted Gator Wraps and Elite Audio. We're still. Any more questions? Oh, anybody have any questions? Just put them up there. We can still read that part of it. You want to say something? Is it a kicker girl? What?
I'm really kicker stuff.
You're really a kicker stuff, huh? Oh, I guess I don't need these, right? But, here's a sub enclosure we're building for a couple of kicker 12-inch CVXs for a pontoon boat. Going to be slot ported on the back, vinyl wrapped.
How were you able to wrap the boat all the way underneath it? Any issues with it sealing up? Not from Gator Wraps.
No. So the if you look here, the wrap part, it's this is rhino lined to the bottom lip, so it doesn't beach on the wrap. You just cut it short on the bottom.
Jeff.
But then the back of the boat.
Jeff, can you hear me?
My phone, Chris, because that's where everything's going to come. The back of the boat actually is cut up so that it never touches the back.
Josh Hester wants to know, what do you like to set your crossovers at for the 6.5
Jeff, can you hear me?
inch speakers?
The 6.5 I run a little bit higher.
I don't think Jeff can hear me.
That I do with them.
Okay. I'm going to give this to John because John
they're
has to
probably
announce
right
winners.
around close to 200 in this. Just there's only one pair of sixes in this, but with the amount of power that we run a little bit higher, and we have a set of 12s that we run a little bit higher than the 15s to fill in the mid bass, and then we have so many 8s the combined with the 11-inch that played at 50 hertz naturally, so there's no crossover on the 11s, so they play down naturally to 50 hertz.
You can go announce the winners. Where will
and the 8s in this boat are right around 150, 140, and again, that's only because I have so much power in them. Obviously, if you're going to run the power that I have in there, you would. If you ran less power, you'd lower the frequency of the crossover. But just given the nature of this boat, it's done a little bit differently. I see what looks to be like John Myers. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. So you're back?
I don't know about back, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Jeff.
So we're going to try this a little differently, and apologies to everyone out there. Apparently we had a little drop in the StreamYard feed. So, but we still have some dyno work we need to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and get on my knees here with the phone and see if I can turn the camera where you can see the dyno. And we're going to go ahead and run the uncertified and the dynamic power run on this amplifier at 2 ohms. So 2-channel. Turn this, see. Hopefully you guys can see the meter. Does that look good, Jeff? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. I put my glasses on, but yeah, you can see it.
All right, so we're at 2 ohms. We need track 3 to 11. So let's go back to 11 and hit start dyno. Let's see what this thing does. Well, let's try this one more time. Enter. Cannot proceed. Mute signal. Oh, that's why. Got all out of sync here. All right, so we're going to do exit. All right, trying to do this from the other side with a different finger. All right, so we want certified dyno run, 2-channel, 2 ohm impedance.
Is this going to be certified or uncertified?
This is uncertified.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. Uncertified dyno run to full clipping. It never reset. Yep, it's going anyway. So, yeah, it didn't start from 0, so let's go ahead and reset the dyno. I'm going to do this one better yet. I'm going to shut the power off. All right, I think I know. All right. So here we are. All right, so mode, uncertified, enter, 2-channel, enter, 2 ohm, enter, track 3 or 11. Let's go down to track 3 and hit start. There we are. We're at 0. Let's see what you're looking for. 600 per channel. What's it going to do? Minimum 600 per channel.
$780.
Nope, there we got 729 and 619. So that's uncertified. One of the things about the KXMA series, they've got a circuit built into them. When you get to clipping, they actually rail back the power so it doesn't do as much damage to the speakers. That's actually a feature that's built into these that you don't have in the CXA. So let's go ahead and go back. I'm going to exit out of this, and now we want to do dynamic power, which I'm going to guess is going to be pretty close to the same, because of that special circuitry, and that's to help prevent, launching of speakers. So 2 ohms. Let's go back here again. So now for this one, it says use track 1 or 2. So let's go back to track 2. Let's start dyno. So I'm going to guess it's going to be just over 600 again. But let's see what it does. 637 and 629. It's still going. 639 and 629.
So it's 600 watts of real rock solid power.
Yep, no matter what you do to it, it's going to produce 600 per channel minimum. So it's kind of cool. It's a pretty beefy little amplifier. And like I say, it's even if you are a little hard on your speakers and your volume control, one of the great things about the K series amplifiers is the fact that they do limit their output as you start clipping harder and harder. So that's going to basically prevent you from launching speakers, versus some of the other amplifiers out there that don't have that type of limiting factor built into them. But hey, we said it would do it, and it does it, by gosh.
And they never shut off, ever.
No, they're awesome.
They never overheat. They never shut off. They are amazing.
And that's one of the cool things about the power supply in these amplifiers is what's called a boost converter power supply. And that basically takes DC voltage and it steps it up. Or a conventional push-pull amplifier, like you'd have in most amplifiers, takes DC 12 volts coming in. It then turns it into AC voltage, runs it through a transformer, steps the voltage up, then goes back and converts it back to DC voltage, and then stores it in the output rails. So there's 2 different times that you convert from AC to DC and DC to AC. With the DC converter, DC to DC, it just basically chops the DC up. And by doing that, it steps up the DC voltage. It's got, 70% fewer parts. It's a lot more efficient and a lot more durable. And that actually contributes to the damping factor as well, which we talked about a little bit last week. That's why these amplifiers have a damping factor greater than 1,000, which for a conventional Class D with a push-pull is unheard of. They're typically 50 to 100. So they're great sounding amplifiers. I mean, full range Class D. You cannot hear a difference between these amplifiers in Class AB. We've done it in our lab where we've done comparisons, and had people try to detect which was the Class D, which was, an older, like the ZR Class AB, and we just can't do it. And I think I'm stalling here, giving Bill some time because we still got to announce some winners yet. So,
Jeremy's logged in back there. Guys, we apologize. This is live TV or live internet. I keep calling it live TV. It's live internet, so you never know what can happen. We just about turned the entire show over to Jeff there. And Jeff, thank you for filling in. So I knew it was a good idea.
I was panicking.
Well, it didn't show. I mean, we can kind of see what you were doing back here. So awesome. So
you want to announce some winners?
Yep, I want to announce some winners. So Bill, can you bring a laptop near me so I can read it?
No.
He's
I'm
not.
not doing that.
So
I'm just gonna tell you.
Bill's just going to tell me who's going to win.
Well, the first is, I don't know, I hope people can hear me, is
Yes, we can.
Jeff F. from Illinois.
Jeff F. from Illinois, you are the third place winner. That is going to be the EB400s, the gray unmasked t-shirt, and the koozie. Guys, watch for an email from Bill Frog. Make sure that you respond with your name, your address, your shirt size, your telephone number, and he's going to send that out to you. So that is awesome. So we got a second place winner.
Is Nick W. from Michigan.
Nick W. from Michigan. Congratulations. You are the second prize winner. You notice I can do this all from memory now. I'm getting better. That's going to be the Tabor Bluetooth headphones. It's going to be the gray t-shirt and the unmasked koozie. And the grand prize winner for tonight, well, there's going to be another winner after this one, but Bill doesn't know about it. So the grand prize winner of the drawing for the show is
Thomas M. from New York.
Thomas M. from New York. Congratulations. You win the noise canceling headphones, which I really, really like those. So I guess that all makes sense. So guys, watch for a email from Bill, name, address, telephone number, shirt size. I guess that's what I was trying to think of on the last one. We've got one final giveaway, and hopefully we got a few people still tuned in for this. We're pushing the little bit over 9 o'clock mark. And as I mentioned before, Bill, which I'm going to turn the phone around here. See Bill over here. There's Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Landscape. I can turn the phone. All right, hang on, guys. We're going to do a little rotation. There we are. What do you people want? Bill just turned older yesterday. We won't say how old. We'll let him do it. So we got Bill a little present here. So
happy birthday.
Come on, Bill. We got Bill a Bill Frog birthday cake.
Happy birthday, dear
Bill Frog.
Happy birthday to you. We love you, Bill Frog.
I guess we're back up.
We're back up. You gotta blow it out. Just don't spit on it.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill, put out the fire over here. It is your birthday, so blow out the candles after he shuts off his phone. Guys, I appreciate you hanging around for our little technical difficulty, and that kind of stuff happens, but that's why we got a really good professional crew that worked through it and got us back on target. And
happy birthday, bud.
It's fantastic.
Bill,
Thank you.
happy birthday,
Thank you.
and always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks, guys. This is awesome.
So it's official.
That's the fewest.
And now you gotta take a bite. You gotta take a bite.
So what do you think, Jeff? Do we need to get Bill out to Desert Storm next year?
Absolutely.
To do some
I
live
think everybody
reports on
should
that?
come out here at least once.
Oh, I do. I mean, I absolutely had a great time. Your hospitality and everything was absolutely incredible, and it really is so much fun. So, guys, I know we're running a little after. Congratulations to all the winners. Hope you guys had some fun. If there's anything else you want to see us dyno or any other special guests, if you want to see Bill Frog parade around in his costume, please let us know. We will make that happen.
You and I are.
Yes. So vote on it. Guys, have a great night. Look forward to seeing y'all next week right here at 7:30 Central Time, the Kicker YouTube and Facebook channel. I will not be here next week. It will be Aaron, and he's going to be doing a little expose with Roger on our new museum, which you guys really need to get to Oklahoma to check it out right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. That being said, thanks to all the camera crews and all the guys behind the board back there, and the wonderful Bill Frog for taking his cake so nicely in stride. And thanks to Lauren for making us stop by. And everyone, have a good night, and look forward to seeing you all again soon. And come see us live at one of the events. We'll be glad to say hi and shake your hand. It'd be a lot of fun to meet you. So take care and good night.